Hi guys, Jinkan here again, and this time with a review of Amen 2 by the Bloober Team. That's a title for the PS3 and Vita. In case you haven't heard of the Bloober Team, they're a Polish development house. They were founded in 2008. Their games include Music Master Chopin, Double Bloob, Paper Wars Cannon Fodder, and of course the original Amen. Now, Amen and Amen 2 seem very reminiscent of a couple of games released in 1992, specifically the Lost Vikings and the Humans, but can both of those added make Amen? Well, the answer is kind of yes and kind of no. Every character that you have in your party in Amen has their own set of unique skills, very similar to the Lost Vikings. Whereas in the Humans, they were kind of a blank slate until you picked up items for them. Difference here between this and obviously the Lost Vikings is the fact that you have 5 different types of character. You have your Private, your Engineer, your Commando, your Muscle Man and your Spy. Now, each one of those has their own specific skills, and in some cases own specific catchphrases and sort of things that they'll say when taking out enemies, that sort of thing. Now, the object of each level is to kill off a required amount of guards, preferably all of them, as if you're going for the 100% on the level, and then get your team to the helicopter. Now, to help you with that, you've got your skills. The Spy can, for example, disguise himself as members of the other team, or he can put down a signpost that will redirect enemy troops, or make them stop on their tracks. The Muscle Man, he can pick up items, namely boxes, or in some cases your teammates, and throw them to higher ledges. Your Commando, he can sprint so that he can run away from the enemy faster, so he's less likely to get killed, and he also has a grappling hook that he can use to reach higher areas. Your Engineer is pretty much the guy that does all the heavy lifting work. He builds bridges, he will build stairways, and he can also take them apart. And then your Private is pretty much the all-rounder. He's got a rifle so he can shoot people, he's got the ability to throw grenades, things of that nature. There's a few things that do let this game down, ever so slightly, and one of them is the level of graphics to the game. Now, this is from the PS3 version, and we all know that the PS3 and the Vita itself can handle a higher level of graphics than this. And it does feel a little bit cheap. It feels more like, say for example, a Flash game that's been ported, as opposed to a full-fledged title. On top of that, there are times where the game actually requires a certain level of precision with regards to your movement. I'll point one of those out later on, but the game itself doesn't allow that level of precision, and it can be quite frustrating. The amount of times you can die because your character slips off of a ledge as opposed to actually making a square jump. The voice work, however, is pretty good. I do quite like it. There's some nice little nods to like films and internet memes that are all over the place, and it can make it quite entertaining to listen to. That said, the music is not so entertaining, and in fact does get very repetitive very quickly. This is what I mean about the jumping. He keeps sliding off even though I'm jumping on square, and it happens quite often, and it's actually really frustrating. And especially there, as he was just trying to pull the rifle at the right moment, you know. And in certain cases it can lead to your death, because if a guard sees you, they will run in and kill you straight away. All in all, I'm not overly impressed with this game. A lot of the ones that I've reviewed before I will quite happily go back and play afterwards. This one I've just got no interest in continuing with, unfortunately. Oh, there he goes. So based on that, I believe I'm going to give Amen 2 a 3 out of 5.